11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Thursday, Firearm Travel and the Gun Show Loophole Tour. On Thursday, we explore the gun shops, shows, and firearms museums we have visited. Since 2016, we have traveled over 60,000 miles through 29 states to visit over 200 gun shops and more than 30 firearms museums. We'll also take a look at 2A rallies and gun shows from all over the United States.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour. So I think that's about what time it is. We might be a little bit late because, of course, we get corked often by pre-corkers. There's links out there, so if somebody wants to jump in, we're going to be chatting about travel and perhaps training. Thursday's topic is travel and training. So as you see on the screen right now, we've got the jumping in. Like this. Good evening. Thanks for jumping.
How's it going? Definitely. Thanks for the invite.
Yep, just started. So I've just got up on the screen right now the events for May. Trying to figure out what is going on with. Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. Look, you can turn off the whole comments completely in StreamYard. I don't think I've ever done that before. I always thought that this thing was always going to be here full of whatever.
Oh yeah, you can. Well, I think you click on the tab that says comments, and it just hides it.
Yeah, I never really did that before. Anyhow, so I was looking for where the heck the other thing was, and I couldn't find it. So anyway, now I can find it. Here's April. What's going on? Oh, I know. It's because I'm looking at this instead of this. All right, so I'll quit looking over here. April has Wanamaker's already happened. That Bear Arms and Bitcoin. I invited Locked and Loaded tonight in case they were awake to jump in. Talk about that Bear Arms and Bitcoin that happened this month. And then there's this rally in Florida that I guess it's already happened also. So then we get to May. These things may happen next month. First off is Shootah, which is pretty awesome. So that's Shoot and Utah crammed together, and it's pretty awesome. I think it's like the 5th or 7th year, and lots of stuff happening over on the Instagram. When we dig into the Instagram on Sunday, I'll be blabbing about that again because it's a cool event for the whole family. Let's see. Then you got the Train and Learn event. Come Dixie's is at the end of next month on the 27th, same weekend as Stupid Nra Annual Meetings. So what we've got over on the YouTube side, if you choose to watch this show live, if you are able to stay up late enough to handle it, then you can vote in the poll. And we have a poll going for where are you going to travel in 2022 for Second Amendment. GRPC, Gun Rights Policy Conference, AMM-Con, which is the day before Alternative Media Conference, I guess. That's how they come up with that. Nra Annual Convention, or USCCA Annual Meeting, I think is what they call it. So one vote, it looks like we got 3 votes. So 1 vote for annual meeting, 1 vote for AMM-Con, 1 vote for gun rights policy. We got, who's out there? We got a couple of people watching. We can do the math on this. We can Quincy this right up. We got Woods out there. We got Makojo out there, and somebody who's unnamed. So an unnamed is one of the votes, and then Makojo and Woods. So which one did Woods pick? I think it's fairly obvious. Barbecue?
Whichever one's going to have the bacon at it.
Oh, well, that's true. That's the NRA convention, though. Definitely. Then it would be USCCA. So he might have voted for USCCA. Who do you think Makojo voted for?
Okay, Joe. I think he probably voted for USCCA as well.
You can't. There's only one vote for each. So wrong.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody voted for gun rights policy. Somebody voted for AMM-Con. Somebody voted for USCCA. Nobody voted for NRA. And we only got 2 humans out there that have chosen to remain.
Oh, well, I'm giving USCCA to MK Joe and GRPC to Woods.
I would have thought that, but there's no bacon at GRPC. Not even near there. He could arrange to have bacon delivered or something.
Yeah,
but,
I think he's going to get the Bacon of the Month Club again just to do that.
USCCA, you walk around because it's basically just a, hey, look at our stuff show. So it's going to be like, hey, look at our vittles or look at our Mountain House foods or something, and there'll be bacon. So
yep.
I guess we'll never know. Nobody's required to say what their vote was, but we'll just go on with the show in any case. All right, so let's dig in. So Woods out there is saying he likes the new DJ intro. Did you hear the new DJ intro?
I didn't.
Hold on, I'm muting you.
Thursday, Firearm Travel and the Gun Show Loophole Tour. On Thursday, we explore the gun shops, shows, and firearms museums we have visited. Since 2016, we have traveled over 60,000 miles through 29 states to visit over 200 gun shops and more than 30 firearms museums. We'll also take a look at 2A rallies and gun shows from all over the United States.
Nice.
Yeah, DJ doesn't like it.
Yeah,
but it's,
he never likes stuff like that. And say, like, because he's talked about doing stuff like that for me, and then he talks about like
you got to go like this.
Studio time, and
you got to go like exactly. You got to go like this. Can I have that? 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 And he eventually gets it.
He's like, all right.
No, yeah, I only had to ask him like 3 times, but basically I had to ask him like 3 times. But I like it because now I don't have to say shit. So I'm still working on it, and then also the Ninja stuff comes from somebody else. So I'm mixing stuff up here. But I only get, hours here and there to go steal some time away, and that ain't my favorite software to fiddle with. So I did that with stupid Adobe something or another. What I'll do is I'll watch a couple of videos when I'm eating dinner or something, or making food or something. Watch a couple of how-to videos, and then try to apply that, and then fail. Or sometimes I hit it, but this time I didn't. So that'll be the intro for a little while until I have some more time to edit again.
Nice.
St. Hills is out there. They had some kind of show. I was in Yankee show, but then I jumped over at the end, and they were all hugging each other and whatnot. So some kind of an emotional show tonight, from what I understand.
Oh, I might have to go back and actually watch that one, I guess.
Everybody said to. And there was a bunch of super chats. The super chats were flying. So it had to be a good one. Let's see. So then, do I still have this on screen? So we got the NRA Annual Meetings. And that's the main thing. Is it's called the NRA Annual Meetings and Exhibits. So don't be fooled by the exhibits part, which is the frosting on the sugar cereal, when what you should be eating is those glutens. Those crusted over glutens are what keeps you your energy or whatever, right? So you want to go to these NRA annual meetings because that's how you take back over the NRA. So nobody was listening to Second Amendment Foundation today, I'm guessing. Second Amendment Foundation, what is it called? Daily Bullet, probably?
Something like that.
I mean, I think it's Daily Bullet because it's during the week. I just watched it because there's nothing else on, and I usually don't watch it, but it was dude from Arms Room Radio, Florida, Mike. And Mike is okay with, they were talking about Trump's kid doing the thing. Trump's kid doing the, we need money for Second Amendment because we stopped the ATF nominee. And then, so Paul was like, they were saying something about it. I got in there, and I think I was on the phone or doing something, and something was happening, and I was listening to 2 chats or something. I was working on something or something. So I didn't really catch it, but I caught the end. So then I type something in there to the effect of like, that dude's worth 25 to 300 million and he's raising funds. That we don't need that. We have that already. Like if he's got effort and whatever, lean into something that already exists. That's my philosophy. So then Mike was pretty much pro, let's see what happens, right? We need all the arms in the fight or whatever, which is, some people dig that philosophy or whatever, attrition. But I've seen what happens when you get a whole bunch of chefs in the kitchen type of thing. And then not so much because of the problem with having too many chefs. It's just that then people are like, oh, I don't know. I can't. There's too many decisions. It must not be important enough to think. There's too many decisions. There's not enough consensus, right? So it gets to be like apathy. It breeds apathy and other things. But anyway, let's see. So anyway, his deal was Mike's. I think Paul was pretty much like, nah, we don't need more groups. And Mike's, if I can speak for him, was more like, let's see what he's going to do with it. And I said something to the effect of, if he's so good and he's so popular and he's so great and he loves guns so much, go fix the NRA. Like he's just the person to go in there and fix the NRA. And then Mike was like, F the NRA. We don't need the NRA anymore. And that's where we're going to.
All right.
What is crying? I got to see who's crying.
Oh, that's one of my dogs.
Oh, okay. I was like, my dog's not even in here. Okay. So, yeah, that scared the shit out of me. So, is that dog all right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, there's just a puppy squeal. I'm just not used to it. So,
he wants in the office, and I'm not letting him in.
No, that's fine. I'm just not used to it, and I thought she was hurt or something. I figured, if he's so good, then let him fix the NRA. So Mike's like, I don't want to fix the NRA, and trying to do this through Paul on the chat. It pretty much ended there. But basically, I think Mike's thing was, well, let's see, what if this guy's whole deal is let's raise. Well, he claims that he's not raising money, but if you go to the place, what's it called? Oh, you know what it's called? The second ATF.
Really?
It's called 2ATF. So the Second Amendment Task Force, second ATF or 2ATF. I don't know. Like, hey, let's make an organization and call it ATF. No, it's already taken. How about 2ATF? Okay, sounds good.
That works.
Yeah. So 2ATF, and you can't even get to it by a click. So it's still too new or whatever. So whenever I did get to the website, oh, you know what? 2ATF is arms trade funding from 2013. So how confusing is that going to be when people search for it and the search engines are still bringing up 214, results from the year 2014. Anyhow, I need to find this probably. Second Amendment Task Force. Let's just put that up on the internet. Oh, I've got this thing in front of my screen this whole time. There. I still can't find it, seriously? You type in Second Amendment Task Force, you think it would show right up.
Yeah, I'm still trying to digest that name.
Trump is, or Fox is pro-Trump, right?
Who?
Fox is on Trump's side, right?
I don't know about that. I feel like Fox is on the side of capitalism. They're gonna.
Well, they took me to his site at least. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So this is their website, 2AF, and it's the kind of website where you go to it and it's a video right away. And I've been to a gun shop that's very, very much like this. But I went to a gun shop that was like this in like North Dakota or someplace. Like it was maybe Minnesota. No, Minnesota maybe. So there's no way that he went to that gun shop. But anyway, he's in here going to some gun shop. He doesn't know how to unload a rifle. He's smiling like a 2-year-old who just shot his first gun. And then he's getting something explained to him, like here's a table saw. And he's like, hey, I'm Vice President's son. All right, blah, blah, standing around, right? So I don't know what this is all about. Somehow that's Second Amendment. Then it goes, shall not be infringed. Second Amendment Task Force, founded by avid outdoorsman and conservative leader Donald Trump Jr. It's a nonprofit devoted to preserving, defending Americans' constitutional right to keep and bear arms. About us, join the fight, give us money. Every dollar goes, so like the first paragraph is shall not be infringed, and then you got about us with the Second Amendment under attack from the radical left and the Biden administration. The 2A task force is like a special ops team of activists mobilizing freedom-loving Americans to fight back against any action that curbs the rights of gun owners and families. And then it goes, give me money. You can give them 25, 50, 100, 250, 500, 1,000, or another amount. So as much as you pay for dinner or like groceries for the week or most of your bills or house payment, car payment probably, house payment, or how much you make for the month. Guest opinion, so some articles, and then you can send them your email address and stuff. You go to about, right? So I guess that was on the first page was we want the money, right? So that was right on the front page. But then if you go to about us, either from down here or by clicking on it up here, because these both take you to the 3 pages of the space, the about page, the news page, and the main page. It says the same thing as it said before. When Biden nominated a radical anti-gun lobbyist to lead the BATFE, Donald Trump Jr. organized a massive campaign to sink the nomination in the U.S. Senate. Yahoo News summed up the results. Donald Trump Jr. helped sink Biden's nominee. There you go. You didn't do it. He did it. This important win made Don Jr. realize there's an opportunity to better organize, pro-Second Amendment efforts. Nice. And dominate the modern digital battlefield of ideas, and the 2A task force was born. So maybe we got the leader I've been wanting. We got the leader now. Is that, should I change the poll? So am I reading this now? And is this guy about to take over?
I'll be right back. I gotta go let the puppy out.
Oh, I see. All right, I'll read the comments over here. Just the bullet? Yeah. Oh, you mean not the daily bullet. I got you. All right, so I don't know. Let me know what you think. Go check it out for yourself. To me, it sounds like somebody who just barged in and is taking credit for a lot of things that just happened. And I don't think he's taking credit for something someone else did, but he's taking credit for things that happened. This issue is personal to me, so that's nice. Now, just so you know, it's led by one of our country's most respected voices on the Second Amendment. Our team wakes up every day ready to fight for the rights of gun owners and sportsmen. We're lucky. We live in a good time. We're lucky. All right, so it looks like most people are going to USCCA. Now, is that because I mentioned the bacon part of that? I don't know. Now we got somebody going to the NRA Annual Convention, and I guess that's what's going on here. Is 2 people going to USCCA, 3 people going to one of each of those other places. I think that's how the math would have to work out. All right, so with that, we'll keep going because barbecue left anyway, so we need to talk to him. Let's see, I closed out of this, didn't I? Yes, this is just showing me the past, so that's why I'm looking at it on 6 different screens. If I would actually move the screen, we'd go somewhere else. So I think the first place we'll go is Second Amendment Foundation, because the Gun Rights Policy Conference is the thing that tethers the next thing we'll talk about. So for the 37th year, the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms, whatever that comes out to, has been hosting the Gun Rights Policy Conference. So the way that worked out is Alan Gottlieb was in college. There was a paper, I think a newspaper back in the olden days in 1975, that had a section or some kind of portion devoted to Second Amendment. And oh man, I'm trying to remember. I think it was focused on just Washington State, or at least he was in the Washington State like bureau or section or something. And then he enjoyed it, and when he moved on from that role, he asked if he could take that advocacy under his wing. And I think that was potentially, I don't know the story, but is that, what the whole thing was for, to foster, to find advocates for the different parts of advocacy? I'm not sure, but it sounds like he took that Second Amendment focus from a larger project that had a Washington focus, and took the Second Amendment part of it as its own entity, called it the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms, gave it a national focus as well. And then when that was successful, because of the way that it was a nonprofit, I think it's an educational nonprofit, he wanted to be able to do lobbying or something else. So that's when Second Amendment Foundation came around, like 2 or 3 years later. So they've both been around since before most of y'all were born, in like 1975. And this is his reaction as a 20-something-year-old man in Washington State, 5, 6 years, 7 years after the Gun Control Act had been passed. And remember, in those first years after the Gun Control Act, the ATF was wielding its regulatory power against gun shops like a club. It was abusing the new regulatory power it had. And the reason that the Gun Owners Protection Act in 1986 exists, or was passed with a lot of hard work, was to protect the gun shops from that. So Alan Gottlieb was in the midst of that, years into that abuse and infringement soup, and decided to do something as a 20-something-year-old individual without any precedent, just the NRA, which had been around since, the introduction of whatever, General and Sideburns decided to make it because the marksmanship quality of the whatever. So that's been kind of an established thing. This guy decides, I'm going to just make an organization. Now, Gun Owners of California had turned into Gun Owners of America right at that same time, and I have no idea if those two knew each other back then. Richardson, who started California, or Gottlieb. But what we end up with is 1975, he starts the Citizens Committee. 10 years later, he's created a national level organization, somehow managed to keep it alive pre-internet at a time when there's already an NRA and there's already other national level organizations. There's certainly state level organizations that are mostly focused on marksmanship and the hobby or the skill set of shooting, but very little focus or attention, even actual very little attention given to advocacy, and most political stuff would have been shied away from. It would have been discouraged at events because they didn't want to piss anybody off back in the day. It was polite to not talk about things like politics. Therefore, we got our asses handed to us constantly by people who were abusing us and marginalizing the possession of firearms. So Gottlieb, in 10 years into his organization that would now last however many years that's been, somebody do the math, 30, 40, 50 years. So he didn't know it was going to be a 50-year organization. He knew that he was 10 years into it, running 2 national level organizations, starts to do the Gun Rights Policy Conference. He starts to bring the leaders, the representatives of the national level organizations and the state level organizations together once a year. And they do a sit rep. They let people know what's up, what they have been doing, what they might need, what they see as a potential risks on the horizon, things that were successful for them, things that they might need help with, a sharing of resources, an opportunity to collaborate. If you haven't attended one, I highly encourage you to check one out. But in 1984 or something, he starts doing that. Now, 37 years later, aside from the one hiccup, we've got an annual event that most people take for granted, that the organizations understand and know each other, -2, the NRA, which is on a scale of 35 times larger than the other organizations. So it's not that they don't show up, it's just that they're 35 times larger than every other organization. They have a different mindset. and the nagger who brags about making $16 million a year. And when someone challenges them on that, they have that person fired. So that organization, I don't know if they're invited or not, but they've never showed their face there. So the Gun Rights Policy Conference for 37 years brings those organizations together. They take each organization, each group, they're usually grouped by some sort of racist segment or whatever, or sexist segment. But they'll take the stage at groups at a time, doctors together, lawyers together, state level organizations together, ladies together, whatever it happens to be. And then they'll give, again, some information about what's happening, where they're at, what they might need, what they see as issues. While that's happening on the stage, and somewhere between 200 to 400 people in the audience attend, those are activists, other people who are there in support roles, people that are just interested. I didn't mention, but the 37 years, it bounces from city to city. Every year it alternates between a gun-friendly and a non-gun friendly city. So for all those years, it's bounced around, and that also offers an opportunity for anybody in the area who's aware of it to attend for free. It's a free event, and you get all kinds of extra stuff and fed, and it's a great opportunity for anybody who wants to just get fed and have an awesome couple of days. But anybody who's an activist and wants to attend the event is welcome to. And like I said, it's been going on for 37 years, and this year it is in Dallas. Last time I was in Dallas was from 17 for this one. No, it's 18 for this one, I think. And it's in the same place. It was the same place they did it last year. So it's, I don't know, it's on this highway right next to, or it's on this hotel, in this hotel right next to the highway. It's pretty easy to get to. Parking's right out front. The parking lot is separate for the event area. So it's nice. You get your own little parking area. It's not like some events, like when they did it in Chicago, you had to park at the main hotel parking, and it was really a pain in the butt to get over to the area, and you had a lot of walking, and you were nowhere near your vehicle. In this venue, you're literally wherever the smokers area is where the cars are. So however far a smoker has to walk, which is usually pretty short, it's basically just across the lobby area from the doors of the place, and you got your vehicle. So pretty cool. And so a very comfortable event. It's in Dallas. It's basically in Fort Worth, although it says Dallas. And so it's right in the middle of everything. It's right off the highway. And for the most part, it sounds like most people just stay there because it's cheap or whatever. And from what Clover was saying, there's massive opportunities there. And that's the nice thing about gun rights policy, is it's a multi-day event. It starts on Friday. Most people, especially people who are able, show up on even Thursday. I would recommend, if you're going and you give a shit and you're an activist, then show up even earlier. Show up on Wednesday. Make a weekend of it, or a week, or however long you can, and use the opportunity to gather and do more than just the actual immediate event that'll require a lot of time or whatever. But anyway, people will show up on Friday. Then there's a get-together, like a meet and greet and a cocktail party type of thing with food. It's nice. It's fancy. And then everybody hangs out. You get to figure out real quick who's the drunks, who's the people that are there to work, and who's there to be on vacation, who's representing their state, and who's on vacation, let's put it that way. And then Saturday morning, everything starts up. You got a day of seminars, basically, not seminars, but people taking the stage and offering, it's not a workshop either, I don't know what to call it. It's a conference. So people are just going to say stuff at you all day. You can choose to sit there or listen to it or walk outside. Or did I mention that while this is all happening, the leaders of these organizations often duck out, head into side rooms, and do strategy sessions. So it's a pretty awesome event. And I already said it's in Dallas, so now I'll say it's in September, end of September, September 30th through October 1st. I guess I was saying it's a multi-day event. So you get there on Friday, you hang out on Saturday, you hang out on Sunday. And for people that stay the whole time or even longer, that gives you the Friday night mingle to get acquainted with everybody and kind of start the chat before you get to work. Gives you all day Saturday with the working lunch to hang out with everybody and get stuff accomplished and reconnoiter and get everything you need to get, kind of figured out. Gives you the evening to get together again. They feed everybody for lunch. They also give you a couple hours to do your thing, and then you get back together and have drinks. I think you pay for the drinks. I don't drink, so I don't know. But then everybody's drinking, and then food's free, and then so you could get like water or something, I think, for free. But then everybody can hang out there, and a lot of conversations, a lot of after chat type of stuff happens, except in real life with movers and shakers. It's a pretty exciting thing. Typically, a bunch of people book off into rooms, and little parties are happening, or little gossip sessions, or shit sessions, or whatever. Strategy sessions are happening. All kinds of stuff is happening. And then Sunday, everybody gets together, and the looky-loos leave. So Sunday's slower, and then all the people that got everything accomplished on Saturday are figuring out what logistics need to be done to finalize things on Sunday, and then people start to disperse. So it's leisurely to some extent. It's not like everybody has to show up and do everything in one day. It's spread out over a few days, so the people that are able and are taking the time to do it, have experienced it a few times, get there, have a chance to breathe, experience the event with everybody, have a chance to break at the end, and then disperse. So the pace of it is obviously effective, or I should say the effect of many years of experience. And then I think I'm done. I'll take a break here, so I've been chatting for a while, but that's the gist of the Gun Rights Policy Conference. Again, it's September 30th through October 2nd. It's free to anybody who wants to register. You just go to this website. We'll put the link in the description of the video and in the comments here for the people that are watching live. And that's I don't know what to call it, like a mecca of Second Amendment advocacy. You get to meet an extract of everybody involved for the most part, and it isn't necessarily echo chamber, because there's quite a bit of, I don't want to say like confrontation or nothing like that, but like people don't agree on everything. Do you want to have compliance with Form 1s and Form 4s, or would you rather have no NFA? So there's people that see a valid strategy either way, and this is an opportunity to hash it out. All right, like I said, I'll shut up, let Barbecue say anything if he wants. I guess DJ's not showing up. Some of the other people I've sent the link out to aren't showing up. You got it in the email, right? Oh, he's not even back. So, yeah, National Association of Gun Ripoffs is in Colorado, and that's how they chose to use their initials. I'm not going to make it to any of those this year. All right, well, Barbecue's not back, so I guess I'll just keep going. All right, so we've got the Gun Rights Policy Conference, and then I used that one first because that was the established one. That was the event that happens, or it's been going on for, 37 years. AMM-Con is, I think, in its like 5th year. It'll tell us here maybe. And it's the Alternative Media Conference, and it's the day before AMM-Con. No, it's the day before Gun Rights Policy Conference. So that the Gun Rights Policy Conference I mentioned in Dallas back in 18, I think, was the one that was the first AMM-Con. So wait a minute, it was 17. 17 was there, 18 was Chicago, 19 was 19 was Illinois, 20 didn't happen. No, 20 was Phoenix, 21 didn't happen. 21 didn't happen. Gun Rights Policy Conference didn't happen. AMM-Con did happen. And then 22 will happen. I think that's how it went down. So it was 17. I was in Dallas, and I was just minding my business. And John Richardson, a blogger, blogged the itinerary for AMM-Con. And I was like, what the hell? I'm sitting here in a parking lot, basically waiting for GRPC to start. And I could be going to this AMM-Con thing. So I just went over there and crashed it. I didn't have an invite or nothing. I just went in. and listened to it, and it was not that good, to be honest. It was a great thing, but it was really dated. It was really old. It was sort of like going to it was not current. So it was interesting to listen to for sure. So then it got everybody psyched though, and then they got so psyched that they waited a year and then had it the next year. So then they had it in Chicago the next year, and that's when we crossed ways because they did the same thing. And that's when I started to double down on attempting to do the workshops and things. In fact, after the first one is when I started doing the 2A media workshops, because while AMM-Con is a great idea, once a year, it's ridiculous. It needs to be a regular thing, and it has to be available to way more people than the people that can afford to get there, either economically or time-wise. So having it on a regular basis, have it be workshops, have it be multifaceted, and have it be multimedia is all obvious. And that's what I attempted to do with the 2A media workshop. So anyway, gone back and forth with them. I'm glad they're doing it, but they're doing it slow and very slow and slow. So nothing I can do about it at this point. So I don't know if Sandhills, I think, went last year, and Clover went to it last year. You guys both went to it, I think, even though not everybody went to it, I think. I'm trying to remember, because it was at the same time as USCCA, and I think y'all was like useful to go to both. So while they normally would run it with gun rights policy, since gun rights policy didn't happen, they ran it with the USCCA, which everybody seemed to dig. I don't like that. I think that's a lame way to do it, because AMM-Con was on Saturday alongside or adjacent to USCCA. It should have been first. It should have been ahead of USCCA. I think it was almost positive it was Chicago, but I can't remember who came up with the idea. I also attended the AMM-Con and just rogue streamed it. I just turned my laptop on and started streaming so that the people from gun channels could experience the AMM-Con as well. And it was the second year when I was streaming it from Chicago that somebody suggested the AMM-Con should really be twice. It should happen at the front on Friday during the day, and then it should happen again for anybody who wants to show up on Sunday to be able to do an after action of their experience at the event. And it would be neat to see some kind of before and after opinions or debates or polls or something like that. And so I think there's a lot of potential for AMM-Con. So we'll see. It's not like anybody's scared to do it. They're just afraid to do it, I guess. Or, I mean, they are afraid to do it. It's not like they're incapable of doing it. Let's see. There's DJ. He's scared to come in here. He's got a link. Let's see. Seems like Clover had to speak. I don't think he had to speak. Oh, you mean because he couldn't get a video or something? But he also wanted to go. And that was my thing. And there's plenty to learn, right? And there's plenty for us to share. But we're not here to critique it. We're just here to mention it's happening. So it is happening again this year. And it is happening at the Gun Rights Policy Conference, which I just mentioned is happening on September 30th and October 2nd. So I'm guessing that means that AMM-Con, yep, is Friday, September 30th. So the way that it works is you show up in Dallas, you go to AMM-Con, and it's all day long. It's a summit, it's a conference, and it's worth going to. And then participating in, because it's hopefully it's going to be a little bit multimedia or interactive. And when you're all done, you'll be a couple of hours, and then you start the Friday stuff from GRPC. So pretty freaking cool. Highly recommend both of these two events. Both of them are free. You just have to show up and not waste everybody's time, I suspect. And you'll come out better. Even if the event is a big cold fish, like it had been a couple of years in a row, then who cares? Because you're still going to hang out with basically the movers and shakers in 2A activism? Not sure what to call it. The people that are going to be at AMM-Con are actually doing shit. So I think it's safe to say everybody there is going to be an activist to some extent. And if they got their ass there, then they actively got their ass there, I guess. Is Barbecue back yet? He's just hanging out, faking it. So with that, we'll jump to, I guess that was it. Is that the two things I was going to talk about? There are some other stuff happening this year. But I'm going to be adding those to the calendar, which I don't even think I have open. So I'm not going to be doing that tonight. And we'll then, on subsequent Thursdays, dig into future events that are happening focused on 2A. Definitely, he was invited. Well, yeah, he spoke at the one. He posted the video on his YouTube channel. Toast reboot. So DJ sent me some pictures of his toast. I guess evidently DJ doesn't know that you can take a knife and scrape the black part off a toast and it turns back into regular toast. That's the nature of toast. Unless you burn it completely through, the black part is just a skin on the outside, and a knife is perfect for scraping it off, and then you basically have toast underneath of there. So hopefully that saved you some bread. Let's see. If you're not a content creator, it would still be neat to see. Maybe I'd be inspired. Are you talking about AMM-Con, or are you talking about Gun Rights Policy Conference? AMM-Con, I can't imagine wanting to go to if you're not a content creator, because some of it's going to be super boring and focused on content creation, like how to use a camera or interviewing techniques, or how to get access to a politician or something like that. It's those kind of skill sets, encouragement, motivation, and that kind of awareness. So if you're not interested in the nuts and bolts of one of these podcasts, I'd say that one's probably not going to be as interesting. However, the people that you're going to meet there are the people that are doing these things. So as someone who's participant for a long time, especially Woods specifically, but anybody who's been a participant for a long time, there's a value there that someone, especially somebody who's new, but even someone with experience, would value as a sort of expert witness or expert, what do they call that? Like a secret shopper, like an expert on the other side of the microphone or internet or whatever you want to call it, giving you some actual feedback as opposed to the, hey, great show. That kind of feedback is nice, but it isn't helpful. It isn't, insightful. So a lot of times potentially showing up at a place like that, you might be not a gung-ho content creator, you might be able to add in enough input to make it useful. Like I say, especially if you've been going to these things, or if you've been watching this stuff for a while, watching it evolve and whatnot, or just make toast. But I'm not an elitist. Oh, mister, I got all the bread in the world. All right, well, so then, yeah, I guess that's about it. We don't need to go on forever. I don't need to really jump into training. I don't think there's anything training coming up right this second, that unless I'm forgetting. AMM-Con is kind of training. So we kind of covered training and events tonight. Let's see, where do you travel for 2A in 2022? We now have 6 votes, and the USCCA and NRA are tied. A bunch of people will be going to NRA. After all, that's an opportunity to chat up all the people who sell stuff and manufacture stuff and move stuff along. And NRA is the kind of event where the merchandise that shows up on the displays or on the booths can often just go home with the people. So unless they're there to sell and they don't have anything to give away, there's a pretty good chance for content creators to get or to come home with stuff from an NRA show. So it's where you typically see them spend their attention, to the NRA show. USCCA, I suppose, is similar, but it's just later on in the year. So it's not an and or, it's just a both. And I guess the and or with the NRA convention, at least, is whether or not they're going to focus attention on the annual meeting part of it and or the convention, the other part of it. The annual meeting, of course, is potentially the opportunity for the board to hear the membership. And maybe what we talked about earlier, maybe we'll see someone from the world show up and act as new popular elected type of leader at the NRA and demand some sort of change or some sort of addressing the major complaints or issues. Maybe we'll see some kind of internal change this year, but I don't see any indication of that yet. But whatever, viewer perspective, yeah, is that the way to say it? like I say, not just as a viewer, but as a, well, I would say you're just a viewer because, again, you're bringing the brain behind it too. So viewer, might be like, oh, it was fun, or the sound was good level, or I could see the color good, where a reviewer would give you insight as to like, yeah, I'm glad you covered this, but everybody covers that, or that you covered it for the fourth time in the 2 series that you've been running. Those kind of insights can be pretty beneficial, especially at AMM-Con. Barbecue, are you here yet? No? All right. Well, we've gone about 45 minutes, and we'll call that a show. With that, thanks everybody for showing up live. We didn't have any kind of thing going, did we? Or we did, I guess. Let me go look and see if anybody's clicking on it. So I got to go over here and go to here. Remember where I put it. I think I put it under here, and then here, and then click this one, I think, and then this, and then this. Oh, not one entry. That's got to hurt. All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up, and we'll be back to pick you up later. Maybe this will wake Barbecue up.
Thursday, Firearm Travel and the Gun Show Loophole Tour. On Thursday, we explore the gun shops, shows, and firearms museums we have visited. Since 2016, we have traveled over 60,000 miles through 29 states to visit over 200 gun shops and more than 30 firearms museums. We'll also take a look at 2A rallies and gun shows from all over the United States.
Tonight's episode, That Was No Lady.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Tonight's episode, Murder by the Numbers.